At the beautiful Legacy Dodge Field in Fort McMurray, Alberta. How are you, my friends? So nice to have you here with us as your Fort McMurray Giants are in the absolute thick of it of this playoff race in the WCBL Western Division. My name is Graham Mosman, pinch hitting for the regular on-air staff here with the Fort McMurray Giants. Happy to have you all in as this match is going to go down as one of the most important ones of the season for these two respective teams for a couple of different reasons. If we take a look at the last game, Fort McMurray forfeiting their matchup a couple days ago against the Okotoks Dogs with a, shall we say, less than playable field. However, by the rule, when one team wants to go and the other one doesn't, unfortunately, that's how that gets decided. And a must-win game ended up being stacked for another loss as the Giants have now dropped 6 straight coming into this one. The Brooks Bombers also fighting for that final playoff spot. Coming into this one, 4-6 out of their last 10 games. Their last matchup yesterday against Lethbridge as that first throw from KJ goes in for the strike number 1. There's the pitch. That'll get chopped, and there to meet it is Swemmenson, who will not be able to make the throw as Carter Hercune is just a hair behind, which will bring up Peyton Matthews with his 331 to the mound, taking on KJ Jones. 37 innings, 3.38 ERA, and a 26 strikeout run so far. That first swing goes foul. Now you have Matt Rhodes hanging on to any throws from KJ. One on the corner, swinging on that one. Going for the steal, and Ben Fischel will make it all the way up to second base. As we are 2 strikes down for Peyton Matthews. Bombers in the blue top, gray pants with the red number. As you can see, Matthews just looking for a second steal, swing and a miss on that one, and down goes Matthews for the first out of this young inning. Chandler, Arizona's C.J. Snowden, and a 3-11 in on the season. Hill would check in now. 26 RBIs on the year, looking to make it 27 with a runner in scoring position. You got to be careful for Fischel, as Fischel does have legs, stacking up steals all season long. That will go in for the ball number 1. KJ Jones, the stare down. Checking back in, looking for the pickoff here. There's the throw. There's the swing. That'll be down for strike number 1. Snowden setting up in that right-hander's batter's box. Righty on righty battle as he'll make contact with that one. That heads right over to Swedemson, whips it to Hercune, and that'll go up for the second out of the inning. As we will welcome number 26, Troy Morrow from Manteca, California. 294 on the season, been walked 20 times, 40 hits, and 32 runs in on this almost now complete WCBL season. Here's the throw from KJ, and that'll go for ball number 1. While the Dogs may be in tops of this division, jumping back and forth between the Lethbridge Bulls and the Sylvan Lake Gulls, an absolute battle for that top spot in the Western Division. It is almost a throw off there for one Mr. Beneficial. Runner on second, 2 down here. As your Giants look to put away the first run of this group of Bombers batters. 2-0 the count, 2 down. There's the throw, swing, and a miss at that one as Morrow goes looking for it, unable to find purchase. And starting to see KJ Jones settle into a bit of a run here, or lack their runs of. Here comes the pitch. There's the swing, and this count moves 2-2. What could we see? A third strike in a row thrown by KJ Jones? Perhaps he has been doing it all season long. 2-2 runner on second, 2 down here on the top of the first inning. Bombers and Giants, as that one will be put up and caught out by the outfielder as Connor Rainey is there to meet it. We will start back with the top half of the Fort McMurray lineup, including Oliball, Rainey, and Nick Suave, excuse me. Coming up next, we'll take a break and be right back. You're watching Giants baseball here on FloCollege. On this Parker King from Anaheim, California. I'm reading the contact of that one. They'll fly off into foul. And he'll be put out for out number 1. One swing, one out here for your Fort McMurray Giants. As your DH with a 315 on the season, Elijah Oliball checks in. That 315 looking extra sharp with 14 ribbies, 17 walks on the season. That'll go in for the ball number 1. Here's the throw. That'll be up high. Ball number 2 as Oliball goes ahead. 2 Oliballs to nothing. Up against Parker King. There's the throw, making contact, and that will head off into center field. It will drop. Oliball heads to first, and your Giants are officially on base for the first time in this young game. Bringing Nick Sauvé to the mound. Calgary, Alberta's Nick Sauvé playing out of Okanagan College. I want to send our thoughts and condolences out to the region of Kelowna, looking like they're dealing with some more wildfires, something that we are all too familiar with up here in beautiful Wood Buffalo. That throw will be outside. Sauvé's last appearance got a single hit out of 5 at-bats in a 2-12 losing effort against the Sylvan Lake Gulls, who have just put together an unreal season and are fighting it out right now. As that'll be far outside. 1-1 here for Nick Sauvé. Here's the throw from King. That will head off, and the throw will be into the dirt. And how about that? Sauvé is safe and on first. Oliball is on second, and the slugger of all sluggers in Matt Rhodes is at the plate now. Not what you are looking for if you are a partisan of the Lethbridge Bulls. 7 home runs on the season for Matt Rhodes. 6'5" from Butler University. Could home run number 8 and a 3-run lead be on the horizon, or I just jinx it as he'll go swinging, and that'll tip off. They'll call that foul number 1. Just a 10-bell opportunity here for Rhodes to really start to put some runs on the board against this Bomber squad. That'll go into the dirt, and Oliball will play it safe and not go for the run. One down in this one as Connor Rainey went swinging over the very first thing he saw and popped out in foul territory. Making contact, and that'll be beyond the line. That'll go for foul number 2. Rhodes makes contact. That will pop the shortstop, throws to first, and Rhodes will be out, but the runners will advance. 2 down here. 2 down, but Carter Herkin ending up in the spotlight at this moment. Doesn't have a home run on the season, but he does have a double and a 276 over just 23 games played. Last appearance, 1 hit in 3 at-bats in a losing effort to the Sylvan Lake Gulls back on the 27th. It's pretty wild as you head back into the East Division of the WCBL, and the Saskatchewan Berries are chasing down as here is the throw. That'll be outside for ball number 1. The Saskatoon Berries chasing down the all-time wins record for a season. And their spot is pretty much wrapped up as the Mavericks are nearly 10 games back. As swinging at that one is Hercune. That'll go for the 1-1. Now, it's all fairly academic, as it looks like the Berries and the Miller Express will face off. Maybe they'll potentially swap with the Regina Red Sox, but it looks like the Red Sox and Mavericks will meet again in this one as Hercune makes contact, and he'll be thrown out at first, and that'll do it for the Fort McMurray side. We'll check in on the West Division standings, much more exciting than they are in the East, in a brief moment. That's your third out. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching Giants Baseball here on FloCollege. Liam Kirsch now checking in on this one for the Brooks Bombers. Number one. Score in here of the second inning as it is a all-out brawl for this final playoff spot. And the right to, in all likelihood, WCBL playoffs. Pretty much fait accompli that the Bulls and Gulls are going to be matching up in that one, while who will have the home field advantage is still remains to be seen, as the one common denominator making contact is Kirsch. That'll go through the gap off into center field. The throw to first will not be there, and Liam Kirsch gets the base for the very first time in this young game. There is a half a game difference right now between the Giants and the Energy City Cactus Rats. The Brooks Bombers can leapfrog the Giants and tie the Cactus Rats with a game tonight. Going for the bunt, that'll be back and fouled out. Kershaw first. And Abaddon Bastardo from Brooks, Alberta. Nice to see a hometown face on the Bombers. As that will foul off for the count of 0-2. So the Brooks Bombers can leapfrog the Giants, tie the Cactus Rats to the win today. The Giants, with a Cactus Rat loss, can leapfrog the Cactus Rats and take that fourth place. So if there's one common denominator in this game, it's that every single one of these fans and players, as making contact is Bastardo, that will head off into center field. Kirsch will get to second, Bastardo to first, and the Brooks Bombers will be 2 on with Seth Raker from Fontana, California, coming up with his 226 on this season. 21 RBIs, 36 hits, 39 strikeouts. So keep an eye on for Raker. He is going to go swing at that one as we are officially into the bottom third of the Brooks Bombers lineup. 2 on, no outs so far. KJ gets that, and it'll foul off. As we head to the 0-1. Like I said, everyone in this stadium and on this field cheering for the Sylvan Lake Gulls to dispatch the Cactus Rats tonight. That game still scoreless the bottom of the second. KJ Jones and Seth Raker. Pitch from Jones. Raker lets it go. That'll be strike number 1. No outs in this inning so far, and the Brooks Bombers are looking to capitalize. Fans sure hoping to see you as much as possible for all the games we have left here at Legacy Dodge Field. Grab your tickets at FortMcMurrayGiants.com. Find a nice day, enjoy some ball, and watch this Giants playoff race continue. Here's the throw from Jones, swinging and going down will be Raker. That being said, the throw to third goes wide, and that'll go down as the error. The run will score as the Brooks Bombers take an early lead in this one. Finding his way all the way to home is Liam Kirsch on the attempted throw out and error. I guess we'll see how they call it. It looks like it'll probably be an error from this perspective. Here is the Brooks get the first run on the board, and this score moves to a 1-0 margin. There's the throw. There's the swing. And Lucas Rick will be chopping at that one. Swing on that one. What a stare down here between that will go for the strike. Oh, and 2 with a runner on second. Making contact on that one, and Lucas Rick will not be able to beat the throw, as that'll go down for the second out of this inning. Here's the throw. Swinging at that one is Bedford. And he'll go chasing for the 0-1. Brooks trying to fortify its lead here, only up by a single a single run. As that will get chopped down. A throw to first. Benford will not make it. Out number 3. And we will take a break and be right back. Your Fort McMurray Giants are on deck next with Ben Swinamson waiting in the wings. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching Giants baseball here on FloCollege. Welcome back. Bottom of the second. Ben checking in here. 10 for 41 on the year. No home runs. Let's have 5 ribbies. As we're going to go one. That's score time the third for the pitch. There's the swing. Will not beat the throw. He'll going to have rough number 1. Now, Camden Sanders' batting line isn't the most impressive thing in the world. But what Camden Sanders does, aside from performing incredibly well on the defensive side of this game, is get hits at opportune moments. He has an absolute knack for finding the best places to show up on the score sheet. Also has a tendency to go down swinging. You see why right there. With 53 strikeouts on the year and his 170. Camden Sanders staring down King. King with the throw. Sanders with the chop. That'll be 2 down. Making contact. They're going to call that foul. Scott Allen and Connor Martin are waiting in the wings. And then after that, potentially, could we see a that one will be way outside. Sanders waiting in, swings at that one. Down he goes as Parker King earns his first K of the day. Scott Allen, only 47 bats appearances this year. 7 hits, 3 RBIs, 7 strikeouts. As that'll go inside, we'll get the strike call on that one. Here's the swing, or the throw, excuse me. That'll be a go for the ball. Standing by for the pitch from King. 1 down. That'll be the strike. 1-2 the count. Looks like we might have a little bit of difficulty here, as our stream might be chopping up a bit, but we should be back to go very, very shortly. As we are freezing up here, folks. Apologies for that one. And that will end up being a walk for Allen. And hope we were able to catch that one as we work through some technical gremlins here on FloCollege. Connor Martin. Here's the pitch from King. That'll be low and outside. Waiting for the throw. That will advance Scott Allen as that pitch goes wide. Martin will stand in tall. That will chop out and go down for the foul. 2-1 the count. A wild pitch leading to our friend and yours, Scott Allen, making it all the way to second base. Camera's jumping around here a little bit, and so we will do our best. That will foul down as well. Waiting for the pitch is Connor Martin. He'll let that go inside for stare down continues on here. As Martin and King face one another down, that will be fouled off. Standing by for the throw from King. He'll sling it. Finding contact is Connor Martin, but they're going to call that foul out. This at-bat just keeps going. It's Connor Martin. Parker King. Staring one another down this one. That'll get a little weird. And down goes his side as Scott Allen will get caught stealing, and that'll do it. That's too bad. We will take a break and be right back. Top of the third up next. You're watching Giants baseball here on FloCollege. Official is up as we get back to the top of the Brooks Bombers. First one from Casey Field, right side. Ball number one. Scoring update from Sylvan Lake for Center City. 2-0 for the Gulls as they are able to pot a couple off a single curse. The good news for fans of these two teams, the fish that'll be as we head to the 1 and 2 with Peyton Matthews and CJ Snowden, the two strongest batters of the lineup, waiting in the wings here. There's the throw. That is way up top. This one goes to the 2 and 2. 1-0 Brooks, top of the third. Matthews up next. Here's the pitch from KJ, making contact with it is official. That will head on out into right field, and the throw will not be fast enough as Ben Fischel finds himself on first. KJ pauses. Here's the throw, making contact. That flies out of left field, and getting it inside foul territory is a Camden Sanders, tracking that one down. That is why he is on the team. Maybe the hitting numbers aren't as good, but that is when he shows his stuff, as that will sit down Matthews for the very first out of this inning, bringing CJ Snowden into this one. No relation to that Snowden, hopefully, for young CJ. Those shadows are awfully long here in beautiful Fort McMurray, Alberta. $27 right now is the reading at the airport, and therefore the steal attempt is beneficial, and he'll get put out, and he'll sit her down, as he'll get caught stealing, and the second out goes up on the board. Pitch from Jones. Snowden unable to release those files, by which I mean hit the baseball. Two down. No one on after that steal attempt goes awry. Here's the pitch. That'll graze him. Ump is ruling no, it didn't. How about that? Finding contact with that one is CJ Snowden, who will put that up into shallow right field. And we'll take a break. Be right back with the bottom of the third, and your Giants up next here on FloCollege. Still facing off against Parker King. In that number 32 jersey, reminiscent of some of Ed Belfour number over the year. Here's the throw. Making contact is Martin. That'll go off to center field. Will it drop? It will, but into the glove. As just like that, the first out of the inning from Connor Martin goes up on the board here at Legacy Dodge Field in Fort McMurray. However, it does bring up a person that has been all over this game so far in Elijah Oliball. In his 321 on the season, already one hit today. That'll be strike one. Two quick outs here. As Martin goes up, Rainey goes up, and Oliball will now have his chance. Bottom of the third. 2 down. 1 run scored in this one, courtesy of the Burrooks Bombers. There's the throw. That'll be outside. As the hecklers appear to be out here at Legacy Dodge Field. Making contact with it is Oliball. That will bring home Rainey. That'll bring home Martin, who scores from that early single he had. Oliball gets to first. Martin makes his way home, and that'll tie this game and bring up Nick Suave. Throw from King. Strike one. Got a feel for those outfielders right now for Brooks. It is hot here today. The bugs from the sny are swarming. And making contact on that one is Suave. It will not be caught, though, and that'll go in for the foul. So this count goes to the 0-2. If you haven't been up here to Legacy Dodge Field, this stadium very close to a very large river. A lot of spots for skeeters to hide. As we get an insect lesson here on FloCollege. Either way, that swing goes. That'll be foul number 2. 0-2 the count as the umps are getting involved here. What was that? Not sure if he was speaking to Rhodes or perhaps one of those fans. Maybe getting a little bit too rowdy. As Chauvet stands tall, swings, makes contact. That'll hit off in the right field. And Chauvet heads to first. Oliball makes it to second. And with 1 out, we have a runner in scoring position. As the slugger from Colorado, Matt Rhodes, checks in. Sounds of Johnny Cash ring out here in Legacy Dodge Field. Quick reminder, only has the 260, but does have 7 home runs on the season. And as we take a look at the other town scoreboard, the Cactus Rats are officially on the board. Score 2-1 in that game. Of course, a Gulls win will give one of these teams a chance to jump over Energy City for that final playoff spot. A Gull's loss to the Cactus Rats will ensure that the Prickle Patch stays in that fourth and final playoff spot. That's the ball for Matt Rhodes. Another ball thrown from Parker King. That'll do it. That'll be ball number 4. And these bases will load up. How about that? There will be a visit here, as we only have one out in this one. And a fully stacked run of bases. With Carter Hercune waiting to make his mark on this season. One down, bases loaded for the Portland Giants. Carter Hercune in here. Let that one go. That'll be a good strike. Making contact. That one will split. That will bring some runners home, as rolling in will be Oli Ball. Nick Chauvet does get thrown out at second base. That is just fine, though, because the end result is a lead for your Fort McMurray Giants. What an opportune moment from Hercune in that Yuri Curry-esque number 17. Ben Swedemson in now. He'll swing at that one. That will hit in. It'll go split the gap into center field. Another runner will come on home, as this game is a 3-1 margin in favor of the Fort McMurray Giants. Swedemson finding himself on the board. Making contact with that one is Swedemson. Yes, he will. How about that? Matt Rhodes to third, Hercune to second. And that will be deep enough. Love to see that. Oli Ball gets home. Matt Rhodes does get put out, but you do have Chauvet on third. So after all that, our score now stands at a 2-1 margin. That'll go foul. Okay, so after all that, it is a 2-1 score for the Fort McMurray Giants. Scott Allen on deck. We're on up now right now after. And he'll make some contact on that one. That will head off into center, and that will bring another runner home. As coming to. That looks to be Carter Hercune, as this game is getting blown wide open. There's the throw, making contact, heading off into right field. That one will drop, and that will send the runner to third. He will hold up. That'll go down as the double for Connor Martin. 2 outs on the board, and Connor Rainey up here now. So that double puts another pair of runners into scoring position for the Giants. You have Scott Allen on third, Connor Martin on second, and Connor Rainey at home plate. King still staying in on this one. After what has only been a disastrous inning. As I redo my math here really quick. Here's the pitch, letting that one go. Trying to get some control back on that one. One moment, would this be for Rainey? As this score is a 6-1 margin in favor of your Fort McMurray Giants, who, with a win, can leapfrog the Cactus Rats if they lose. Swing and a miss for Connor Rainey. Not at all. Not at all a good situation here for the Brooks Bombers. There's the pitch. Swinging is Rainey. And Rainey 0 for 2 on this one. Will be 2-1 here. Pitch from King. They're calling that one ball. This marathon at bat continues. Waiting here for Connor Rainey. He'll swing at that one. And that'll do it. We'll take a break and be right back. That is your third out. You are watching Giants baseball here on FloCollege. The score after 3, Giants 6, Bombers 1. And from the bottom of the fourth in Sylvan Lake, it is Gulls 2, Cactus Rats 1. As we keep you updated on both those games going into this evening. Have a great evening. We'll talk soon. The next inning is coming up, shockingly next, on Star Trek. Would be Star Trek if we were This is what happens when you don't take your medication before you do a game. Your brain gets a little weird. We'll take a break and be right back. As our Twitter feeds are blowing up right now. Something happened with Star Trek. I don't know what. We will find out. Don't mind me. This is Giants Baseball here on FloCollege. And we are back. So we do have one out early on as Morrow ends up getting sat down on the fly out in foul territory. Brings Liam Kirsch up here. He'll be the beer batter for this one, assuring he will absolutely not make it to base. These fans will find themselves the beer deal. That will be popped up into center field and barely having to move is Connor Rainey. Beers on sale, 2 down here at the top of the fourth inning. 6-1 the score after an incredible inning by your Fort McMurray Giants. Now, just for a little bit of background, I do have the ADHD, and some days you don't take your medications, things can get a little weird. Things jump out at you. My things that jump off my screen and take over my brain, and kind of jumped in to take care of this game a little last minute, so I apologize for some confusion on that one. As making contact is Bastardo, who will make that one a single, as it'll drop down into center field just over the head of Swenomson, which is incredibly hard to do, as Swenomson, very tall man. 2 down, runner on first base here for the Brooks Bombers. But yeah, if you have anyone that's ever had like ADHD or kind of some learning disability in their life, is that'll get fouled off. Things get a little weird. So we're powering through. Thank you for your patience. As Seth Raker will go foul for that first one. KJ Jones standing in strong here. That'll go for the first ball of this one. A stellar season so far with a 338 and 26 strikeouts for KJ. Here's the throw. There's the swing, and that will go foul once again. This count moves to the 1-2. Raker looking to get some offense going here for the Bombers. Here's the contact that will head off out into right field. The diving play as Martin is there for out number 3. How about that? That is one of the nicer catches you will see in this season as Connor Martin with the dive sets down the side. We'll take a break and be right back. Your Giants are coming up to the batter's box next. Here on Giants Baseball, it's FloCollege. The part of the Giants lineup that all pictures read. Oh, Suave, Rhodes, and Hercules all winning in the the first pitch for Kinko's ball. Second one, that's strike. Only ball standing strong in here. 2 for 2 on the day. There's the throw. He'll be hit. Ooh, you got to be grateful for the ankle guard right there, as he will head to first on that hit by a pitch. So no matter what, we will see Hercune here. But coming up next is Nick Chauvet. Already scored a run himself. Already got a hit today in this his third at bat, making that 292 just look a little bit more sparkling on the day. Pitch from King, swinging at that one is Chauvet. That'll go out into center field. And down goes Chauvet. An unfortunate out number 1, but Matt Rhodes will check in here. Want to keep an eye out for Oliball as, well, maybe not the most fleet of foot runner in the WCBL. Does have 4 stolen bases on the year. Only ball on first. Rhodes staring down King. Here comes the pitch. That'll go wild. Only ball will hit off onto second base on that one. Rhodes will stand in there. Here's the throw. Rhodes will step out, reset back in. There's the throw. Making contact with that one is Rhodes. That will send Only ball to third. And Rhodes will head back to the dugout, and that'll be out number 2. Carter Hercune in now. 2 down. Runner on third. That'll be in for the strike number 1. Unfortunately, the Cactus Rats have just pulled ahead by a margin of 3-2. That will be interesting strike zone placement. So if these scores were to stand, the Giants would still remain in a outside looking in position on the WCBL playoffs. Here's the pitch. That'll be outside, ball number 2. Two on the count, 6-1 the score. Swing. Strike 2. All you need is a single to bring home yet another run in this one. Will we find it off the bat of Hercune? Here's the throw. There's the swing. Down he goes, and that'll do it for the side. We'll take a break. Be right back. You're watching Fort McMurray Giants baseball here on FloCollege. Lucas Rick from Rockford. That first one goal by. The ball up and that 6-1 for these Brooks Bombers. They'll go swinging and missing on that one. This strike at bat moves to the 1-1. There's the throw from KJ. That'll be outside. Here's the throw. That's an interesting strike zone. Not upset as a Giants partisan, but that felt real close to the batter. But ump has a better view than I do. Struck down is Rick. And KJ Jones will add to his total on the season. And that'll be the first out of this young inning. Nice little run by KJ Jones, bringing up the final man of the lineup for the Brooks Bombers and J.R. Bedford from El Sorrento, California. 219 on the season. 19 RBIs, 25 hits. 0 in this one. As KJ's night moves on, there's the throw. That'll be in the dirt. That'll go down for the 1-1. Right about now is when we are going to start keeping a bit of an eye on the Giants bullpen. As we traditionally see KJ go usually about 6 innings. This might be his last appearance. Making contact on that one is Bedford. But that will foul out. Count of 1-2. As J.R. Bedford stares down Jones. Here's the pitch. And he will be hit by a pitch. And off to first base will be J.R. Bedford. Oh, checking over on the Cactus Rats game. The Gulls have just tied it up 3-3 at the top of the fifth. A Cactus Rats loss and a Giants win will catapult the Giants into the final playoff spot in the division. As official lets that one go by for the strike number 1. Official, the top of this order for the Brooks Bombers. There's the throw into the dirt. Going for the pickoff at second. And that will do it for J.R. Bedford, as he'll be get caught stealing. And we'll move to our second out of the inning. Empty bases, as Bedford is not able to make it. What a throw, courtesy of Matt Rhodes. How about that? Pitch from Jones. That'll be a little up high. And that will be in for the ball. Here's the throw. There's the swing. Popping that one up into left field. Chasing it down is Camden Sanders, who will pick it out of the sky. Second, nice defensive play. That'll retire the side. We'll take a break and be right back. The bottom of the fifth inning is up next with the Brooks Bombers ready to try to put something on the board. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching Giants Baseball here on FloCollege. Matthew, wearing number 21, has entered the game for the Brooks Bombers. Say hello to Derek Hughes from Santa Clarita, California. Not a sparkling stat line, only 50 innings pitched on the year, a 14.08 ERA. That'll go for one. Only going to see him probably go an inning against that longest appearance of the season, a 2 inning against Lester. Also has a 2 inning appearance from when last time these two teams. 23rd. When the Giants took that one by a margin of 12-5. Only gave up a single earned run in that one, but in his last appearance for the Brooks Bombers up against Energy City just a couple days ago, did give up 8 runs in what ended up being a very CFL-esque 16-14 win for the Prickly Cactus Boys. Swedenson makes contact. That'll go foul. Pitch from Hughes. That'll go for ball number 2. Chance here for Swedenson to find some redemption, having missed that one of those balls that went sailing over his head a couple innings back. Makes contact. That will head right to the shortstop. Rips it to first. Lucas Rick is there. Down goes Schwedemson. Kevin Sanders with Fleetwood Mac's The Chain blaring out through this one. He'll let that one go by for the first ball of this at bat. Really, you can go with any Fleetwood Mac song. They're all great. Although if you attend a wedding and they're playing Fleetwood Mac something other than "You Make Love and Fun" as the as a song for the bride and groom, maybe time to be a little worried. And the pitch to Sanders. That'll be outside. Ball number 2. Here's the throw. Making contact. That'll head up into the air. The first baseman will try to track it down in foul territory. He drops it. Oh, no. Ah. That has to sting. Or did... Oh, no, he did. Yeah, he did drop that. All right, back we go. Oh. Well, that'll do it for Swedenson anyway, but it brings up Camden Sanders. Sorry, folks, I'm not sure I saw on that one. Working off a monitor here a little bit at this game. Don't have the best angle on it, but we're doing our best. I apologize. That'll end up being a walk, and Sanders will head to first. Scott Allen from Delta, BC, checking in now. 1 down, Sanders on the corner. Throw to second. And Sanders will be caught stealing. 2 down. Scott Allen will let that go all the way around. That'll end up down in the dirt, throwing the first. Down, we'll go the side. And that'll do it. We'll take a break and be right back. It is the sixth inning on deck. I mean, it's Giants baseball here on FloCollege. Standing tall here. For Jones. And so this looks to likely be accident. There we will finally get a strike. 3-1 the count. He'll make contact. That'll head off into foul territory. But how about that grab? Wow! What a play from Matt Rhodes to snag that one in front bench. Wow. How about that? Snowden will foul that one off. Swing and a miss. That'll get fouled up. This at bat will continue as KJ Jones powers on in. 6-1 your score. Top of the sixth inning. One out here. Making contact. And how about that speed from Snowden? As CJ Snowden from Chandler, Arizona will be able to beat the throw and makes himself nice and comfy over on first base. Checking in on the Cactus Rats, bottom of the sixth, 3-3 your score. Hits from Drew Abercrombie, Zach Borneo, and Rio Uno to keep the Cactus Rats tied in this one. Throw to second will not be there in time, as stealing that one away is some smooth base running by CJ Snowden for the Brooks Bombers. There's the throw. There's the foul off. Here's the throw from KJ. That'll get fouled off. KJ with the throw. Foul off again. Creeping ahead. Keep an eye on him. Swim some things. And that one. Is that another foul? Goodness. 8 pitches deep here in this one at bat as the standoff from Troy Morrow and KJ Jay Jones stays on. Let's see, Swinhamson fighting with some bugs. Told you, a lot of mosquitoes out here in the outfield at Legacy Dodge Field. Jones holds. Here's the throw. And, oh boy, something different. We have a ball. The throw. Making contact. You're never going to guess what that was. Fouled again. 9 pitches deep. Swinging and missing. That will end up a odd little play. How are they going to rule that one? So Snowden gets the third. Catcher makes an error. However, Troy Morrow does go down for the K. So after all that, Brooks gets a run through. CJ Snowden gets a steal. He'll score on what will technically go down as the error. However, Troy Morrow is down. So that puts us at a 6-2 margin of lead for the Giants. That was a weird one. KJ getting that encouragement from the Giants faithful. And Zala going for the 2-1. Liam Kirsch in now. Oh, got to readjust the gloves. That'll fix everything. You're all set once you readjust the gloves. Making contact on that one. Kirsch will have that drop into center field, and he will find himself on first base, bringing number 27. That is Abaddon Bastardo. Do you think he goes by his full last name all the time? I wouldn't. That being said, I had a neighbor named Anthony Butts, and he went by Anthony Posterior. That'll do it. Bastardo flies out to right field. That'll be out number 3. And we'll take a break. Be right back. A bottom of the 6th inning is coming up next here. It's Giants Baseball on FloCollege.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and create new memories. Access Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
On a handful of at-bats, scoring a run as well. Making his 173 on the season look nice and peachy. That'll go for the ball number 1. 6-2 your score, bottom of the 6th. Staying in there is Hughes. Martin finds contact. That'll head off into infield fly territory. And he'll go down as the first out of this inning. As Connor Rainey finds himself back once again. Scoring update for the Cactus Rats. 3-3, top of the 7th. As they're just a half inning ahead of us here down in Sylvan Lake. Contact made on that one. Will not beat the throw is Rainey. And he'll go down for out number 2. Your DH walking up to the sounds of Craft 4000. The famed goal song of the Boston Bruins. There's also a one-time Toronto Blue Jays home run song. 2 down, bottom of the 6th. 6-2 the score in this pivotal playoff implicating matchup to the Giants and the Bombers, as that one goes for the foul, count to 1-1. Two and 1. Only ball will send that one well out into left field. And that'll be enough for the double. Love to see that if you're Elijah Oliball. Especially with Nick Sove and Matt Rhodes waiting in the wings. Check in on the Gulls Cactus Rats game. That game moves to a 5-3 margin in favor of the Gulls. If both of these scores hold, the Giants will leapfrog the Cactus Rats for the fourth and final playoff spot in the Western Division. There's the throw, making contact on that one, and that will not drop as Sauve will head to the dugout, and stranded on base will be Elijah Oliball. We'll take a break and be right back. The seventh inning is coming up next. You're watching Giants Baseball on FloCollege. Only giving up 2 runs on the day now. Your Giants look, hang on to this lead. And for the Silver Lake Gulls, hold on there. And for them to leapfrog the Cactus Rats. First, the playoff push I'll be on here at FloCollege, but we can't encourage you enough to come down to Legacy Dodge Field for some of the promotions we have going on for the rest of tons of prizes. A lot of special evenings. field, and there is Connor Martin to slide and snag that one. That'll be the first out of the inning. Now, these next games can make or break the season for the Giants, as you have another matchup against the Bombers tomorrow, then another on Friday, another on Saturday. And then there will be a doubleheader with the Energy City Cactus Rats, although uncertain where that one is yet to be played. Rumors swirling that those games could be in Spruce Grove proper, which I'm sure would be positive for the Cactus Rat faithful in the WCBL audience. That'll go for ball number one. That one will go down as the error, and Lucas Brick will find himself on first base. Want to thank all of our fans who were able to come out for Stadium Slam a couple days ago in partnership with Monster Flow Wrestling. It was a heck of an evening. Nice to get some live wrestling here in Fort McMurray. Now, Lucas Rick is going to check out, and Wyatt Ormond will be in for the Brooks Bombers. Lucas Rick is a lot of things. Speedy is probably not one of them. And the Bombers need some runs. Making contact with that one is J.R. Bedford. That'll head off into right field. Right center field. Nice work there by Rainey and Martin to not get in each other's way and have that one go down for the second out of the inning, bringing the top of the Brooks lineup back into this one as we say hello once again to Ben Fischel from Tappan, New York. What a stat line for this one, for this young man. 361 on the season, already 2 hits here tonight. That'll be in for the foul. That'll be down for ball 2. Or foul 2, excuse me. That will be ball 2. Oh, looks like we got a slight adjustment on the board. This count goes to a 1-2. Or 2-1, excuse me. That'll be outside. Heckler's starting to make some noise here at Legacy Dodge Field in the lower bowl. Here comes the pitch. Making contact is Fischel. That'll head off in center field, and no movement required from Connor Rainey. As that'll be the third out of the inning. We'll take a break and be right back. This game cruising along. We'll also have a scoreboard update from the Energy City Cactus Rats and the Sylvan Lake Gulls in just a quick moment. You're watching FloCollege and your Fort McMurray Giants. Not want to go outside. Not want to go way outside. Four lead for the Gulls. Now that game is a Energy City home game. There's the throw, swing, and a strike for Rhodes. So Cactus Rats will have a chance to walk it off if the score stands going through in the ninth inning. But if you want this Giants team to be in the playoffs, oh boy, you got to hope that score holds, because the results as they stand would see the Giants jump ahead as Rhodes makes contact with that one. That'll hit on out. Oh, just short of the wall. Oh, that has to sting, as Rhodes' eyes were big and wide, looking for his 8th home run of the season, falling just a few feet short. Ooh, unfortunately. Ooh, looks like that'll be... That's either Fischel or Morrow. Hard to tell from this vantage point, as they will be attended to by the trainer. You just hate to see that. Is he okay? Yeah, it looks like he'll be all right. Scary moment there. What a play to snag that one, though. My goodness. Hercune up at the plate now. 1 down. Swing outside, or no swing outside. That'll be ball number 1. That goes ball. Swing, foul off. There's the throw. Making contact is Hercune. He'll go nowhere. As that one snagged out of the air by Sweatimson now checking in on this one. We stand in here waiting for this one. Here's the throw. That'll be down the dirt. Or close enough to it. As that'll be a 2-1 count for Ben Sweatimson. Bottom of the 7th. Throw. Contact made. That'll pop up. And not a gimme. But no guarantee either. That'll do it for the side. We will take a break and be right back. 2 innings to go in this one. 6-2 your score. You're watching Giants baseball on FloCollege. Back at it. 4-1 lead for the Giants at the top of the eighth inning. Sam Ramjan in at the mound. Ball to ball. Nancy. That will be going out as a drop third strike. First out of the inning for the Bombers with CJ Snowden back. A man certainly full of secrets, except not that one. That's ball number 1. Snowden and the stare down between Ramajan. 4 runs separating these two teams, and just a game back from the playoffs. Cool. Very good. Let's take a look here as Ramajan hangs on, looking to get CJ Snowden swinging at this one. Here's the pitch. Contact made. He will send that to foul territory. There to make the grab. How about that? Unbelievable defensive work all game long from your catcher. Love to see it. .288 in the year for Troy Morrow. And that will not help as that'll foul off. Couple of errant woos echoing through the confines of Legacy Dodge Field. Here's the throw. That'll be a tipped foul. Two down here. Top of the 8th inning. After this, only one more chance for the Bombers. Here's the throw. There's the swing. That will be foul off. Kirsch coming up next here. Or will be popping up next time the Bombers head into their final few outs. There's the throw. Down he goes. Take that K, Sam Ramajan. We'll take a break. We will be right back with the bottom of the 8th. And your Giants up next. 6-2 your score. 3 half innings to go in this one. You're watching Giants baseball here on FloCollege.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Scott Allen in here for this one. A Sanders double before that. One and one the count for Allen. Staring down Hughes, who is in his longest appearance of the year so far. Some of you see a fair bit here in the latter part of this WCBL season, as a lot of pitchers end up having to go home. They hit their pitching counts, hit return to school, and they end up having to rely on your bullpen a whole lot more. There's the throw. There's the strike. This is a 1-2. Top of the ninth inning in Sylvan Lake. Gulls hold a 5-4 edge over the Cactus Rats. Cactus Rats have to hope to walk this one off if they want to maintain their hold in that playoff spot. That ball goes outside. And that'll be in for the 2-2. Scott Allen hanging in. That'll go down in the dirt. Throw to first. Down goes Allen. So that'll bring Connor Martin up now. One down, runner on second. Connor Martin standing tall here in this one. Here's the throw. Wild pitch. Camden Sanders will head off into third base. And how about that? Holding on here from Martin. Here's the throw. Swinging at that one. That will chop down. Tap on to first. And that'll be out number 2. Connor Rainey returns in this one. Still 0 for on the day. 2 down. Here's the pitch. That'll be called for the 1-0. Runner in scoring position on the corner. Here's the fleet-footed Camden Sanders. Connor Rainey goes swinging at that one. 1-1. Here's the throw. That'll be smartly grabbed and chopped down by Liam Kirsch to keep Camden Sanders from trying to run that one home. There's the throw. That'll be strike 2. That will send down Rainey. Goes the swing, leaving Sanders stranded. We'll take a break and be right back. Top of the 9th. The last 3 outs for the Brooks Bombers are on deck. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching Giants Baseball. The playoff fight is on here on FloCollege. Last three outs for the there's a throw for Ramjan. That'll be a little too high. Call that for the 1-1. Kirsch 19 strikeouts on the season, 299 his average. Swinging on that one, that'll go foul. Liam Kirsch. Have to get something on here. You want to start chipping into this Giants lead with only one inning to do so. Chopping at that one. That'll go right to Sweatimson, who barely has to move. And that'll go down for out number one. 2 outs to go. Top of the ninth, 5-4. The Gulls over the Cactus Rats. Cactus Rats are the home team in this game in Sylvan Lake. The Gulls do have a runner on second, though. There's the throw, chopping, and swinging at that one is Bastardo. 0-1. Call it 0-2. Oh, and the Gulls will not get anything on that one, so we will head to the bottom of the ninth for the Cactus Rats, the chance to walk it off here. That one goes past Bastardo for the ball. That'll head up into center field. Going, and Rainey is there. Out number 2. The final out is on the board with Seth Raker from Fontana, California. Now, if this score should hold in both these games, your Fort McMurray Giants are back in the WCBL postseason. Want to keep an eye on WCBL this week from IKS Media, as that'll go for strike number 1. A pile of suspensions handed out in a matchup between the 57s and the Berries. RCMP did not have to be called, but there were a number of tussles resulting in multiple game suspensions. That'll be up high once again. That'll jump off. Here is the chance for Sam Rambajan to put this one away. Final out. Here's the throw. Swing, miss. Giants are back in the playoffs. if the Cactus Rat scores hold. But hey, at the moment, that game is not done. This game is your Giants are victorious 6-2, the final, as they will, for the moment, jump back up into fourth place. And that is a gut punch for the Brooks Bombers. They will look for some redemption tomorrow, as we will see you right back here on FloCollege. 7 o'clock first pitch on that one, as that'll do it for us here. I'm Graham Mosiman. Thank you for joining us. You have been watching Fort McMurray Giants Baseball, a presentation of the WCBL here on FloCollege. Take care, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you very soon.